بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أفضل الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وآله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى ويرفع الله الذين آمنوا منكم والذين أوتوا العلم درجات وقال سبحانه وتعالى ولا تعجل بالقرآن من قبل أن يقضى إليك وحيه وقل رب زدني علما وروى الترمذي في سننه وروى الحاكم في مستدركه من رواية عبد الله بن عمرو بن العاص رضي الله عنهما قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم العلم ثلاثة آية محكمة أو سنة قائمة أو فريضة عادلة وما سوى ذلك فضل أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. وعن أمير المؤمنين أبي حفص عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى فمن كانت هجرته إلى الله ورسوله فهجرته إلى الله ورسوله ومن كانت هجرته لدنيا يصيبها أو امرأة ينكحها فهجرته إلى ما هاجر إليه. رواه إمام المحدثين أبو عبد الله محمد بن إسماعيل ابن إبراهيم بن المغيرة بن بردزبة البخاري وأبو الحسين مسلم بن الحجاج ابن مسلم القشيري النسابوري في صحيحيهما اللذين هما أصح الكتب المصنفة. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First and foremost, I would like to welcome all of you to our first session of this series, which we are going to begin from today, and it is going to end by 21 December, inshallah aziz, with exam. So I would encourage all of you to come here not as a lecture, but come as a class. And make sure that you take notes if you really want to benefit from the course. And you definitely would appreciate when what is going to be said and how the commentary will be presented in a very comprehensive way, very profound way, inshallah aziz. I will try my level best, where you will be able to take notes as well. So first and foremost, I would encourage all of you to take notes yourself. If you are unable to take note, inshallah there will be notes in PDF format we are going to place on website as well, so you may follow it up and follow it like a lesson. So end of the series you can write exam also, and then we can move again on to the next level of our course, inshallah aziz. This time, with my all thought, I have decided this time to be best time for all of the people, because people are now relaxed, they have come back from their work, study, and nights of winter are long as well. And right now is 9 o'clock, 9:30, but as we are moving forward, time will go lesser and lesser, inshallah, and Isha would reach up to 8 p.m. and that will be easier for us. So only 1 hour we would like to keep it, and beside that, inshallah aziz, you will see how the course will be. So the first and foremost, I have mentioned in front of you one hadith, and that hadith is the base why I decided to take this tree course. As the hadith of Tirmidhi I recited in front of you, narrated by Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anhuma, wherein he narrates from Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam that definition of ilm given by Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, ilm indeed are three part. Number one is Kitabullah, which is coming pure, pristine wahi, and from the kalam of Allah Azza wa Jal. This is number one. And number two, sunnatun qa'imatun, that is an explanation of Quran, sharh of the Quran, coming from Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and that is hadith and sunnah. And number three is faridatun adilatun. This is an Arabic term, and the direct meaning of faridatun adilatun means extracts from the Quran and Sunnah. And another word you can say it is al-fiqh, jurisprudence and rulings and regulation of deen and the Sharia. So these are three real knowledge. And then Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, وَمَا سِوَى ذَلِكَ فَضْلٌ. Beside that, if a person would acquire the knowledge of poetry, if a person would excel into grammar, if a person would learn balagha, and if a person would go into any other sciences, that is all well and good and encouraged in Sharia, and that is all addition beside the ilm. But the real ilm are three: Quran, Sunnah and al-fiqh. So I have taken all three course from the Sunnah and the Hadith. We are going to learn Kitab An-Nawawi. What is this An-Nawawi? 40 Hadith is going to come in front of you, inshallah. So this is one course, and it will go every Tuesday. And every Wednesday we are going to go through Qisar al-Suwar, 22 last chapter of Holy Quran, starting from Surah Ad-Duha and till An-Naas. So this commentary also will help many brothers and sisters, if they would truly understand, would go back and again study further and explore more and more, because Kalamullah is an ocean. Little commentary cannot help you, but it is kind of an indication, and it is kind of an encouragement towards opening this particular area and exploring more and more, so you can appreciate when you recite these short chapters. Either you listen from Imam, either you recite yourself into salawat, you will appreciate. So the second course will be 22 chapters of Holy Quran. That will be every Wednesday, inshallah. We will follow in sequence. And number 3 is al-fiqh, which is faridatun adila, from the hadith I quoted. And that fiqh, what we are going to cover is Kitab Tahara, a chapter of cleanliness. And in that chapter we are going to cover 4 major areas. Details are many, but 4 areas we are going to cover with dalil, with proofs, why this fiqh says this and why this imam has taken this opinion. Everything will come, inshallah aziz, in profound way, where you will see the proofs of the hadith also in front of you, and you will feel very happy when you will practice after understanding. So Kitab Tahara, major chapter we are going to touch will be number 1, istinja, using washroom and etiquettes of istinja and so on and so forth. And number 2 is al-wudu. And wudu also will come with dalail and everything, what is faraz, why it is faraz, and what is sunnah, and what makes it sunnah, what is mustahab, and what is need to be avoided in the wuzu. All detail will come. And then the third part is al-ghusl. Ghusl also will come with detail, dalail. And similarly, the last one is a tayammum, and that is a replacement in absence of water. And this tayammum is replacing for the ghusl and wuzu both. So this is the third topic we are going to discuss every Thursday, inshallah aziz. By end of 21 December, we are going to complete all this course. So inshallah aziz, you will benefit. Now let us begin today. What is going to happen today in this 1 hour? I would like to bring some encouragement, targheeb, and the value of knowledge and ilm, because today we are embarking and enrolling in a study, and we are going through as a class. So you will appreciate if you know that what I am doing and my time is being spent here is not being waste. It is so valuable. Each moment will be rewarded by Allah Azza wa Jal, and your rank will be uplifted by Allah Azza wa Jal. So let me mention few fazail of the ilm and acquiring knowledge. At the same time, we are going to learn some of the etiquettes and adab of acquiring knowledge. Whether it is a teacher, preacher, or a student and listener. For all of us, there are some adab and etiquettes to observe while we are learning and while we are teaching. So many things has been written in this particular subject for the muallimin and teachers and for students as well. Some of the points which is very important for us as a student, as a listener, all of us sitting here, we are going to benefit out of it. So few etiquettes also will be mentioned. And then after, I am going to introduce this kitab, what we are going to learn. How many ahadith in it? What is we going to learn? and the hadith number 1, which I have already recited at the last, which is narrated by Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu anhu, and a little touch with few points on commentary of this hadith which we have done, and accordingly our halaqa will be end, inshallah. So let me begin with the ayah of Quran which I have recited before you, ayah number 11 of Suratul Mujadala, in which Allah Azza wa Jal has mentioned the groups of the mu'mineen and believers and their ranks among themselves. Allah has said, يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ. Of general masses, those of the people who recognize Allah, who believe in Allah, who already call mu'min and Muslim and believer, their rank is already uplifted because of their submission and subjugation and iman on Allah Azza wa Jal from general masses. So those of the people who are not believers are way higher rank than them. This is what Allah has elevated because of their iman, because of their recognition of the purpose of life. Number 2, وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. Allah says of the believers as well, there are some high ranking people, and they are those who are people of knowledge. And people of knowledge only can be done, or a person can be only alim and a people of knowledge when he embark in a journey of acquiring knowledge. And therefore we are here. So this ayah has mentioned the ranks of believers and the ranks of those amongst the believers who are knowledgeable people. And from an explanation of Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu, how high rank a knowledgeable person from the general masses. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu says, لِلْعُلَمَاءِ فَوْقَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ دَرَجَاتٌ بِسَبْعِمِئَةِ دَرَجَةٍ. That the ulama and their ranks are higher than the general believers 700 times. So they are 700 ranks higher than general believers. And then Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu says that مَا بَيْنَ الدَّرَجَتَيْنِ مَسِيرَةُ خَمْسْمِئَةٍ. مَا بَيْنَ دَرَجَتَيْنِ مَسِيرَةُ خَمْسْمِئَةٍ. Between each rank, from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, up to 700. Between one rank to second rank, 500 years of destination. This is the high rank of a knowledgeable person. So you will appreciate what we are doing here. Allah Azza wa Jal make me and one and all among those who are people of knowledge. So this is number 1 ayah, and this is the ayah number 11 from Suratul Mujadala. And I have mentioned a bit explanation of this ayah. Number 2, the value of knowledge is mentioned in one of the saying of Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu. خُيِّرَ نَبِيُّ اللَّهِ سُلَيْمَانَ بَيْنَ الْمَالِ وَالْعِلْمِ. Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam, he was given choice that here is the wealth, and you can become a superpower of entire universe, entire world, and then next is the knowledge. Choose what you like. So Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam ikhtara al-ilm. He chose out of both choice, he chose ilm and knowledge. فَأُعْطِيَ الْمَالَ وَالْعِلْمَ جَمِيعًا. Because of his choice of knowledge, Allah has given him both. He got the best of this dunya, and he said that in his dua, رَبِّ هَبْ لِي مُلْكًا لَا يَنْبَغِي لِأَحَدٍ مِّن بَعْدِي. Oh Allah, grant me such kingdom that no one will ever have after me and before me. So he was the biggest person who has the vast kingdom ever given to any person in this world, Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam. Sometime we will go through commentary. I only want to mention when he was flying with his arsh, then 5,000 people at the time used to ride on his arsh. 5,000 people. I believe till today there is no such flight here in the world who could carry 5,000 passengers at a time. Is there anyone? No. 5,000. And this is written in the authentic Tafseer. You may go and check it back. At the time when he used to fly with his all ambassadors and all of his parliament members and all of member of Shura, 5,000 people at the time used to write. So this is Nabiullah Sulaiman alayhi salam. Sayyidina Abu Darda radiyallahu anhu, he says, لَن تَكُونَ عَالِمًا حَتَّى تَكُونَ مُتَعَلِّمًا. We have just now heard the ayah of 11 of Al-Mujadala, in which the very high rank of an alim scholar is mentioned. Abu Darda radiyallahu anhu, a very famous sahabi of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, لَن تَكُونَ عَالِمًا. You can never become a scholar, never become an alim. I am talking here, alim is a Quranic term, very high rank term. It cannot be like a person would put the kufiya and the thob and a person is imam and he call himself alim. Is not possible. This is a very high rank. Allah make us among those, at least servants of those ulama, and raise us among those ulama on the day of judgment because of our intention and because of our sitting and acquiring knowledge. So Abu Darda says, لَن تَكُونَ عَالِمًا حَتَّى تَكُونَ مُتَعَلِّمًا. You can never become a scholar and alim until you become a student. And then he further says, وَلَن تَكُونَ مُتَعَلِّمًا حَتَّى تَكُونَ بِمَا عَلِمْتَ عَامِلًا. And you can never become true student of knowledge until and unless you make sure that any and everything what you have learned, you put into practice. Without practice, you are not able to get the title of Talibul Ilm. So this is Abu Darda radiyallahu anhu. Sayyidina Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, he says, ما بخلت في الإفادة وما استنكفت في التعلم. If I got an opportunity to benefit someone through my knowledge, I have never deprived. Anything which I learn, I pass on to people. And he says, وَمَا اسْتَنْكَفْتُ مِنَ التَّعَلُّمِ. I was never shy to learn anything. Even it is mentioned in his biography that Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, he ate his knowledge from one person who was, how I would say, a person who cleaned toilet. Back home, actually, this job is a very, very low job. So, a person who used to sweep and clean toilet, that person, he was actually, one occasion, Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi asked him a question regarding dog. He says that this dog, when he is urinating, he uplift his one foot and then he urinate. What is the reason for that? So that man who was toilet cleaner, he ate information of Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi. So lifetime Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi was mashkoor and used to appreciate from this man who taught him a knowledge, and he used to revere him and respect him and honor him because he was his teacher from that day. So Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi said, I was never shy to learn from any single person. And you just imagine a person clean toilet, and Abu Hanifa, whose rank was very, very high, who was tabi'i, born in year 80 after the migration of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, met some of 7 or 8 Sahaba in his lifetime, and he take knowledge from them. This kind of high ranking jurist, imam and faqih, he ate his knowledge from a person who used to clean toilet. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu was cousin of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was also Ra'sul Mufassirin, head of commentator. Till day of judgment, anyone would like to comment on Quran, would like to write any commentary of Quran, that person has to go back and check the references from Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu. He was the high ranking Mufassir. Abdullah ibn Abbas says that 2 type of people can never learn. One person who is shy. A shy person can never learn. And the second person who is arrogant, mutakabbir. He feels that, how come I can sit in front of this man and learn knowledge? No. These 2 habits will always deprive people from acquiring knowledge. And therefore, we are coming back. A very great story mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf. وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِفَتَاهُ لَا أَبْرَحُ حَتَّى أَبْلُغَ مَجْمَعَ الْبَحْرَيْنِ أَوْ أَمْضِيَ حُقُبًا. Nabi Musa alayhi salam, he set an example. He was a Nabi, and not only Nabi, he is from Ulul Azmi min al-Rusul. 5 high-ranking prophets. Number 1, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, Sayyidina Nuh, Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam and Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. But yet, when he was giving lecture, Hadith in Bukhari, right after his brilliant lecture, some of the persons stood up and he says, Ya Musa, is there anyone more knowledgeable than you in this world? And he said, no. Apparently he was right in his claim because he was Nabi of Allah and his direct source of gaining and acquiring knowledge is the Wahi. So no one can beat in knowledge to Nabi of Allah. So he was right in his claim. But the direct teacher of Musa alayhi salam was Allah Azza wa Jal. And teacher always tried to adorn and beautify his students. So Allah Azza wa Jal disliked from Musa alayhi salam that how come you are saying that there is no one more knowledgeable than me? He says there is so and so person in so and so place, he is more knowledgeable than you. And then this all story, cutting short, is mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf. We are not only reading just to fulfill the rituals on Yawm al-Jum'ah, reading Al-Kahf, and we don't know what is happening in there. Great story, so many lessons to be learned for students of knowledge, for those who are teaching and preaching. For everyone there adab is mentioned. Musa alayhi salam, he actually went and he became a student of Khidr. Khidr in rank is one grade lower than Musa alayhi salam. But yet Musa alayhi salam, being greatest prophet, he became a student. And not only became a student, actually with so much conditions was made. When he met Sayyidina Khidr, he was kind of very bitter and he did not even pay attention. He said, Assalamu Alaikum. So Khidr, he just uplifted alayhi salam his shawl and he says, Anna bi ardika salam. Who is this man saying salam here? This place there is no such thing salam. So then he said, Ana Musa. So he again says in a very bitter and a very strong lehja, he says, Musa Bani Israel? He says, yes, Musa Bani Israel. Why are you here? I want to learn, sir, from you. He says, you can never learn from me. It's very difficult. We have so many conditions here. So he says, sir, I will comply every and any condition you make it, but I want to learn. Finally, the conditions were made and is mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf. He became student. So what I was saying, that two type of people can never learn. One is arrogant and one is the shy person. So there is no time in a life of a person whoever would feel that I am the perfect knowledgeable person, I don't need knowledge. Al-ilmu lirrahmani jalla jalaluhu wa ma siwahu fi jahalatihi yataghamghamu ma litturabi wa lil'ulumi fa innahu yas'a liya'lama annahu la ya'lam. Ibn Kathir rahmatullahi alayhi in his tafsir mentioned this couplet and he says that knowledge is only befitting to Allah Azza wa Jal. He is only alim. Rest of the people, we are muhtaj. Even Nabi of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the words I quoted in front of you, وَلَا تَعْجَلْ بِالْقُرْآنِ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يُقْضَى إِلَيْكَ وَحْيُهُ وَقُلْ رَبِّ زِدْنِي عِلْمًا. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said in one of his statements, أُوتِيتُ عِلْمَ الْأَوَّلِينَ وَالْآخِرِينَ. I was given knowledge of all of the past people and all of the people to come till the day of judgment. Yet, knowledge is something, an ocean coming from Allah Al-Alim. Allah says to him that you always ask to increase your knowledge. Supplicate to me, Rabbi zidni ilma. Ulama and Mufassirin writes that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam never asked anything of this dunya to be increased except two things. Number one is Rabbi zidni ilma. And number two is, can somebody remind me? Two things Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked to be increased. No? No. Anyone? Who drinks milk every day?
Allahumma zidni zidna minha.
What is the dua we read after the dua? Allahumma barik lana fiha wa zidna minhu. So only milk. And milk is also symbol of knowledge. Right. So these are few words regarding the value of knowledge. Was in my mind. Further, I want to mention some of the adab. Look, all of us, including myself, I am not a teacher, I am not a alim, I am not ustaz, we are all students, that we are together collectively having muzakara and try and learn from each other. So, one of the poets says, Ya akhi, lan tanala al-ilma illa bisittatin. Oh my brother, if you today here embarking in a journey of knowledge, then keep in your mind, lan tanala al-ilma illa bisittatin. If you really want to acquire knowledge, you have to observe 6 habits in your life. Especially those of the students. Whether you are in university, whether you are anywhere, we are all students. And we have to remain student lifetime. So he says, Ya akhi lan tanala al-ilma illa bisittatin. That, oh my brother, you can never acquire knowledge until and unless you observe 6 qualities in your life. Number 1, dhakaun. You have to be an intelligent man. Especially for knowledge of Sharia. Unfortunately, our habits for knowledge of Sharia, which is the true knowledge, as the hadith we have heard, the first thing, what we do is that we only put those students for acquiring Sharia who could not fit anywhere, who could not become a lawyer, who could not become a doctor, who could not become scientist. They say, well, this guy is not coming in control and he is completely out of control, and let them go to madrasa, and the madrasa people will hand over, control him. So this is what we do back home every places. And then all of the general public complain that, our imams are not good, our scholars are not good, and they are, preaching something old. Well, what you expect from them? You are not freeing your best of the students for acquiring the sciences of Islam and the Quran. So number 1, dhakaun. You have to be an intelligent man. And number 2, intelligent. How much intelligent? I want to tell you. There were 2 very famous students of Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi. Imam Muhammad bin Hassan al-Shaybani. And number 2, Imam Abu Yusuf al-Qadi, Qazi al-Qudat. So Imam Muhammad bin Hassan al-Shaybani, how intelligent this Imam was. He was a teacher of Imam al-Shafi'i rahmatullahi alayhi as well. Imam Muhammad Hassan al-Shaybani, he came to the halaqah and a class of Abu Hanifa. And he says that I need an admission. So number 1, Abu Hanifa asked him, Ahafizta al-Quran? Are you hafiz of kitab? He says, I'm sorry sir, I did not memorize it. He says, well, here we only give admission to those students who are hafiz al-Quran. You are not hafiz, and our discussion all revolves around the Quran and Sunnah, so you're not going to benefit. So Imam Muhammad was sad because he came very excited, wanted to get admission in halaqah of Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi. So now he says, فَقَامَ وَغَابَ سِتَّةَ أَوْ سَبْعَةَ أَيَّامٍ ثُمَّ جَاءَ فَقَالَ حَفِظْتُ. He says, he stood up, he went back, he was very sad, and how he can get admission. 6 or 7 days he was out, and then 8 days, after 8 days he came and he says, Hafiztu, I am Hafiz al-Quran today. And this is actually with references. I don't have here written, but there are 2 very famous references I have in my diary written. Next halaqah inshallah I'm going to give you that reference, so you can keep it always and you can check back again the reference that it is written. And this is karama. Karamatul awliyai haqqun. One of the aqidah of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, that there are some very special things occur in life of some individuals with the aid and assistance of Allah Azza wa Jal. It called supernatural thing, karama. It is haqq. So those people were high-ranking people, pious people, righteous people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would grant them this ability. This is possible. So he became hafiz in 7 or 8 days. So dhaka, number 1, you need to be a good student, al-dhaka. Number 2, hirsun. You have to have greed, talab, quest. I really want to learn. And you have to adjust everything and anything comes on the way of learning. Now, our attitude we know. Matter of learning of deen, we just take it very trivially. Many other things we give all importance. It's because we do not have value. Therefore we don't give. So number 2 is al-hirs, greed, quest, talab. Talab is mentioned in Musa alayhi salam's story as well. وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِفَتَاهُ لَا أَبْرَحُ حَتَّى أَبْلُغَ مَجْمَعَ الْبَحْرَيْنِ أَوْ أَمْضِيَ حُقُبًا. Those of the people who knows Arabic, they would appreciate directly what I'm trying to say here. That Musa alayhi salam, once he was indicated by Allah that there is a teacher and a person who knows more than you, and now you have to go and study. So he is going. Now his hirs and his talab is such that is mentioned here by Allah. He says, La abrahu, I am going to continue on my journey. Hatta abluga majma al-bahrain, until I would reach to this final destination where Allah has indicated to me that you are going to find teacher over there. Aw amdiya huquba, and if I cannot find there, he says, I have to spend decades in it. I will be able to go and I will spend decades in it, but I will never give up my journey of acquiring knowledge. So this is number 2, hirs. Dhaka'un wa hirsun. Number 3, ijtihadun. Now you are intelligent, you have greed as well, but you don't do anything. In order to fulfill your greed and hirs, that can't work. Ijtihad, working hard. بقدر الكد تكتسب المعالي من طلب العلا سهر الليالي. That according to the amount of your ijtihad and your struggle and your hard working, your rank will be uplifted. Otherwise, if you are just dreaming and not working for, you're not going to become that great alim or great knowledgeable person. So dhakaun wa hirsun wa ijtihadun wa bulghatun. Bulghatun I can easily translate that those of the people who are in a journey of student life, and most of the people have come from the student life, and if a student would always try to say that I cannot sleep here, I cannot eat this, and I have to have this kind of pillow, and I cannot live in this area. Well, student cannot do like this. Student, wherever he finds a little time, he just sleep, and again he go back to journey. A little bit food, one piece of bread, a little bit, juice and something like that, you again go back, because you're not going to rest for extravagant things and, luxury things. So, bulghatun, simplicity. Simplicity is a very important for the talibul ilm. So, dhakaun wa hirsun wa ijtihadun wa bulghatun wa suhbatu ustadin. And it is must to have a company of a teacher. Because with company of teacher, you can learn things which is, cannot be done by your own research and study. It is mentioned that Sahaba, they were not given many titles like of today's, scholars. That this is Mufassir, Muhaddis, Allama, Fahama. Sahaba, their only title was Sahabi. And Sahabi is coming from Sohba, companionship. They had only honor to remain in company of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Sohba. And it is mentioned in Hadith, the rulings of Hadith, sciences of Hadith, that Rawi who is narrating Hadith, and if he was in a company of a person whom he is narrating from, that riwayah and narration has a more value than he is narrating from someone else. Like today's first Hadith, what we are learning is, Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu says, Sami'tu an-Nabiy sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I was sitting right in front of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and I have heard him saying these words. So it is a very valuable. Nobody can compete with this kind of narration with other narration. So sohba. So sohbatu ustadin. I was telling you that a student who sit in the company of an expert teacher, then instantly he get 3 benefits. There can be many benefits, but 3 instant benefit. Number 1, yuqassiru laka al-umr. That mas'ala, that particular topic which you are hunting and searching for, your own research would take you hours and hours, and you would not be able to reach there. But if you sit in the company of an expert, in blink of an eye sometime, he would direct you towards that great problem which you were trying to resolve by your own, and you could not reach it. So yuqassiru laka al-umr, he would make it your life easy. In a short time period you will reach to your destination. Number 2, yusaddidu laka al-faham. He will put you on the right track. If you are going and searching this kitab and then you say, no, this is too long. Take this kitab and you will find everything here. So he will put you on the right track. Yusaddidu laka al-faham. And number 3, yu'tika al-adab. When you sit in front of teacher, then the adab will come. Because in front of teachers, when you are in a study room, in a classroom, that's where you have to sit with adab. Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayh, it is mentioned in Siyar A'lam Nubala, is a very famous kitab, where many biography of the past scholars is preserved and compiled. So Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi, about him, Imam Zahabi rahmatullahi alayhi writes, Imam Malik says, when I was young child, 7 years old, كانت أمي تعممني, my mother used to adorn me and beautify me, and in the end, after putting everything, the amama is the last to put as a beautifying person. It says, كانت أمي تعممني, my mother used to put turban on my head, and while she was putting turban, she used to say that, my boy, now you go and sit, اذهب إلى ربيعة الرأي, go and sit in a halaqa of Rabi'atul Rai, who was the greatest muhaddis of the time, and he used to have a halaqa in Masjid al-Nabawi, ala sahibiha alfu tahiyyatin wa taslima. It says, now you go and sit in a halaqa of that great muhaddis Rabi'atu ibn al-Ra'i, wa ta'allam minhu husna adabihi qabla an tata'allama minhu ilma. I am sending you there because 7 years old, you are not able to grasp or grip any knowledge from Rabi'atu ibn Rai. But the reason I am sending you there, that you will sit in his company and see how to behave and how to be respectful, and what are the mannerism is being implemented in his halaqah, in his class. So this Imam Malik. When this Imam Malik, because of this extreme precaution is being taken in his nurturing by the mother, when he grew up, you just go and study Imam Malik and his biography. Imam Malik, he was a teacher in Medina, and he was the faqih, la yufta wa malikun fil Medina. If Imam Malik is in Medina Munawwara, there is no one can ever compete the rank of Imam Malik. Imam Malik, when he used to sit in Masnad of Dars while he was teaching, it is mentioned about him that at the time 5,000 students used to sit in his class at the time. And Imam al-Zahabi writes for same Imam Malik that only 500 students out of 5,000 were the real students, used to take notes. Remainder 4,500 only used to come in a halaqah of Imam Malik to learn the manners, that how to be respectful in a majlis of ilm. So this is the sohbatu ustadin. If you sit into company of teacher, instantly you get 3 benefit. I mentioned number 1, yuqassiru laka al-umr. In a short span of time, you will reach to your goal and destination. Number 2, he will put you on a right direction and right thinking. And number 3, he will give you adab. Yu'tikal adab. And the last one, ذكاء وحرص واجتهاد وبلغة وصحبة أستاذ وطول زمان. If you take a course 5 days, 7 days, 40 days as we are doing, and then now everybody of us, after going out, we say that now we are ulama, can't work. Tulu zaman is a lifelong story. Lifelong story, and you cannot be alim even then. Al-ilmu min al-mahdi ila al-lahdi. Ilm will begin from the cradle and will end till the grave. So this is the couplet which I mentioned regarding some of the adab and etiquettes which we need to observe as a student. The last one is the hadith in which the great fadila of acquiring knowledge is mentioned. And this is reported by Abu Darda radiyallahu anhu, mentioned in Ibn Majah, in Mustadrak al-Hakim, wherein Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Man salaka tariqan yaltamisu fihi ilma, sahhala Allahu lahu bihi tariqan al-jannah. Today you have come all the way from your home. If your only intention here to aid and increase your knowledge, and because of your way and path you have taken to this majlis, Allah Azza wa Jal, for all of us, make it easy for our way to Jannah. And then it is mentioned, وَإِنَّ الْمَلَائِكَةَ لَتَضَوْا أَجْنِحَتَهَا لِطَالِبٍ إِلْمِ رِضًا بِمَا يَصْنَعُ. Angels, they lower their wings out of humbleness, giving respect and honor to talibul ilm because of the work they are doing. And then it is mentioned that each and every creation of Allah Azza wa Jal, hatta al-hitan fil ma, even the fishes in the ocean, also make dua for talibul ilm. And then it is mentioned وَإِنَّ الْعَالِمَ وَإِنَّ فَضْلَ الْعَالِمِ عَلَى الْعَابِدِ كَفَضْلِ الْقَمَرِ عَلَى سَائِرِ الْكَوَاكِبِ. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam finally says that the superiority of an alim over only abid and worshipper who does not have enough knowledge and is more knowledge, then that person, his superiority is like of a moon over the stars. So this is the hadith in which the fazila of talibul ilm is mentioned. Now we move on to the second part. Second part is this hadith kitab. And this kitab is written by Imam An-Nawawi rahmatullahi alayhi. Only 4 or 5 points. Imam An-Nawawi rahmatullahi alayhi, his name was Yahya. And his laqab was Muhyiddin. And his kunya was Abu Zakariya. Although he never had children, he was not married, he was a bachelor. And there were many scholars in the past history, they never got married because of their extreme busyness in field of knowledge. There is a kitab written by Sheikh Abdul Fattah Abu Ghudda rahmatullahi alayh. I have it in my home as well. Al-Ulama Ul-Uzzab Alladhina Atharu Al-Ilma Ala Zawaj. That those of the bachelors ulama, that they have preferred acquiring knowledge over getting married. So Imam Nawawi rahmatullahi was not married, but still he was called Abu Zakariya, and it is allowed. If a person is a small child and he is still child and definitely there is no children for him, but still he is also been given kunya, and this is the style of the Arabs in the past and till today as well, and this is a very good thing, we should keep it all the time. So Yahya was his name. His laqab was Muhyiddin. He always disliked people calling him Muhyiddin. Although he was the one, he did ihya of deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. His work was so much. His many books, but 3 very famous books you remember. Riyadus Salihin, all of us we know. Always been recited into masajid. Riyadus Salihin. And I would recommend you that keep a copy of Riyadus Salihin at your home. 2 volume. And number 2, Al-Adhkar Lin-Nawawi. This is also, you would appreciate if you get this copy at your home. Everything in a human life where you need an example and uswa of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam with references is been mentioned in Al-Adhkar Lin-Nawawi. I have a small kitab Al-Adhkar given to me by one of the professor in Mauritius, 1992. And his name was Rida. And actually he gave me this kitab as a hadiyah when I was coming from there. And I kept it till today. Although one of my son has made so many scratches on it, but that kitab is still there. So Al-Adhkar. And the third one is this kitab, Arba'un Lin-Nawawi, 40 hadith. Now this kitab, when you will open, I would recommend you that when you go back, you will check on my website this kitab in PDF format, English translation, Urdu translation, written Arabic is also there. So you may print it yourself and bring your copy next week. Today I have given you one hadith. So this kitab has 42 hadith in it. This kitab has 42 hadith. But Arba'un has been mentioned that always in the past scholars they used to not count the kasr. Anything goes like an odd number, they always cut it off until it goes into the proper sequence. So it has been called 40 Nawawi. Now Imam An-Nawawi rahmatullahi alayhi, he was born in year 631. 631 after migration of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And he died in year 676. 676. These are few things, you keep it in your mind because this will come in a quiz inshallah. So 676 he died. Now you just count how much his age is. Very little.
36.
How much?
36.
45.
31 to 76.
31 to 76. He was 45 years old.
45. 45 is nothing. So in 45 actually the work which he has done is a barakah Allah Azza wa Jal has given him and granted.
So that's why I said 36.
31 to 76. So this is Imam An-Nawawi rahmatullah alayhi. He compiled this kitab. Now this kitab, over 122 different people have written the commentary of this 40 hadith over the history. 122. With my own eyes today when I was checking, I saw 22 very famous commentary and their names also. And you will appreciate I kept it few names here for you. And this is just to let you know that this kitab is a very important, that 122 people have written commentary of this kitab over the history, and some of those names are here. Al-Nawawi wa Sharhuha. This is written by this author himself. Number one. Number two, Jami'ul Ulumi wal Hikam, Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali rahmatullah alayh, 2 volume, a great kitab. Those of the people who knows Arabic, if you can get it in Arabic, will be great. And the translation of this Jami'ul Ulum wal Hikam in English is posted on my website. You go and check back today. It is on the Facebook. And inshallah you will check it back. It is there. And you will be able to read it. So when you come for next hadith, you try to spare some time and read and come. So you can come with something that what I am going to prepare and I am going to say, you will know something beforehand. So this is Jami'ul Ulum wal Hikam, and the translation is also been made in English and is available as a PDF copy, and you may read it. And number 3, Al-Fathul Mubin bi Sharh al-Arba'in. This is also another kitab. Al-Jawahirul Bahiyya fi Sharh al-Arba'in An-Nawawiyya. This is kitab. If you put the name in Google, you will see the kitab will come right in front of you. And then Al-Futuhatul Wahabiyya. Now the meaning of this is that a man who was writing commentary, or the Shaykh, he got something inspired in his heart, the real commentary, and that was he has translated and put into book. So that is called Al-Futuhatul Wahabiyya bi Sharh al-Arba'in Hadithan An-Nawawiyya. Last one, Ithaful Anam bi Dhikri Juhudil Ulama ala al-Arba'in fi Mabani al-Islam wa Qawaid al-Ahkam. This is also a very famous kitab, and as I mentioned, over 122 kitab now.
Repeat the last one.
Ithaful Anam, give to the public. Ithaful Anam bi Dhikri Juhudil Ulama, to let people know that how many scholars over the history have made so much effort in order to present the commentary of this kitab. Ala al-Arba'in fi Mabadi al-Islam wa Qawaid al-Ahkam. This is the kitab. So this is Imam Nawawi rahmatullah alayhi, and the kitab, a little bit introduction. Now we go into the hadith directly, and then we conclude inshallah. The hadith which I have recited in front of you, hadith of Umar bin Khattab. Everyone, you have a paper there, and I made sure that while we are sitting in front of us with the material, then we'll have a more focus. So the hadith goes like this. Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu anhu is the rawi. One thing is mentioned, Amirul Mu'minin. Actually, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, his many ahadith is coming in the kitab. And when some of other ahadith comes, that's where I'm going to mention a few important points about the biography of Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu in order to introduce him. We all know, but sometimes if you have profound points in your mind, then you would be able to make points in front of somebody when you are talking about Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu. So I'm going to make it some other time inshallah. Amirul Mu'minin. Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab was only Khalifa, the first Khalifa, who got the first title of Amirul Mu'minin. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu never called Amirul Mu'minin. In his time, people used to call Khalifa to Rasulullah. And Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, when he became Khalifa, for a while, people used to call him Khalifa to Khalifati Rasulullah. And then after, a man came from Iraq, of Brother Wasib's mulk in the country, and then he addressed him Amirul Mu'minin. So that's where he was introduced as Amirul Mu'minin, and people started calling him Amirul Mu'minin. And some other narration says that he himself says that you are all believers. Means he called Sahaba and praised them that you are the Jama'ah and the group of believers, and Ana Amirukum, I am appointed as an Amir on you. And that's how he was recognized as the first Khalifa with the title of Amirul Mu'minin, Abu Hafs. Now Hafs, you might think that this kunya was given to him because his daughter was Hafsa. No, it's not like that. Hafs in Arabic called who? Can you tell me please? Do you know Hafs in Arabic? Do you know Haris in Arabic?
Haris means guardian.
No?
Haris means guardian.
No.
Protect.
Haritha.
Haritha?
Harith.
Harith.
Alif Rafa.
Who,
Lion.
lion, yes.
Lion has over 45 names in Arabic language. Arabic language is so rich. Only to call lion, there are over 45 names in Arabic language. So one of the name is Hafs. One of the name is Harith. Aba Harith, that's what you call. So Hafs, it is mentioned, I was reading, and this was first time I read. It says that Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, when he used to ride the horse, is because he was called Abu Hafs is because of his shuja, his bravery, his being very strong person. And his strong nature is mentioned in the kitab I was reading. He says that when he used to ride the horse, he used to hold the ear of horse, and then he used to jump. At one jump, he used to sit on the tall horse. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu. So that is what kitab says. Wallahu alam bisawab. And it is possible. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu was a very strong person. His bravery is well known. Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that, "O Umar, when you are walking on a street, and if shaitan sees you walking, he changes direction. He can't face you." This is true. So, Musala. This is Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, inshallah. His biography we're going to mention when some hadith comes and his title comes, we're going to talk about it. So, Amirul Mu'mineen Abu Hafs. Abu Hafs is his kunya. Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu qala. Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu anhu, he narrates and he says, Sami'tu Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam yaqul. I have heard Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saying, Innamal a'malu bin niyyat. Indeed, the reward of a'mal is based on the intention of the people. So if you have a wrong intention, you are going to ruin all of the reward. And if your intention is pure, then accordingly you are going to be rewarded by Allah Azza wa Jal. وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَّا نَوَى. And indeed, person would get only that much which he has intended for. So if his sincerity was there, according to his sincerity, Allah is going to give him back. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَّا نَوَى فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Whoever his migration is only towards Allah and His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then his hijrah and his migration will be regarded as he has migrated for Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ لِدُنْيَا. And if someone's migration and moving from one city to other city is because he wanted to achieve certain portion of the dunya, you see, he is going to get it, which he has hunted for. أَوْ إِمْرَأَةٍ يَنْكِحُهَا. Or his intention to marry a woman over there, and therefore he migrated from one place to other place. يَنْكِحُهَا فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى مَا هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِ. Then his hijrah will not give him the reward, which is the real great reward, but his hijrah will only give that much what he has intended for. He might would get that portion of dunya which he has intended, or he will get married with the woman with intention of which he has migrated from one place. Now this hadith has a sha'nul wurud. When you are reading Quran, and inshallah we are going to go in tafsir tomorrow, then there are specific reason mentioned why this verse or this surah was revealed. And that is known in ulumul Quran, sha'nun nuzul. And in hadith, there are some specific reason for that background. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned particular words. And for that, in ulum of hadith, or the science of hadith, it is mentioned sha'nul wurud. That why Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned this hadith, it is because there was a man. As many people migrated from Makkah to Medina because they wanted to please Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But one man, he migrated from Makkah to Medina is because he was not wanting to come and move from Makkah. But there was a woman known as Qais in Medina Munawwara. And he says, I want to marry you. Then she says that if you really want to marry me, come and leave Makkah and come here. So he migrated from Makkah to Medina. Now many people have migrated and their hijrah was a great thawab. But this man came only to marry this man, the woman Qais, and therefore he is called Muhajir Qais. So for that reason Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned the hadith, and this hadith came in front of us. Now one thing I want to mention, Fathul Bari, volume number 1, page number 1. very famous commentary of Hadith of Bukhari. Every Hadith kitab, ulama of Hadith, they always used to begin their kitab with this Hadith, so they can renew their intention to be pure at the beginning of their work. So Imam Bukhari also has done that job. He began his Bukhari with this Hadith of Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu, which we are reading now. And then Fathul Bari, 1.5 page, there are so many different dimensions of niyyah is written. It's too long to mention. I want to mention one thing. For example, a person comes late and a man is praying sunnah and he just touches his back and he comments in his farz. And sometimes we have these questions always coming. Now both of the people, their intention is different. He is only following a person in his action. If he is going in ruku, he is going in ruku. If he is going in sujud. But intention of people are totally different. From this example, one thing became very apparent, that intention of a person is the main power of his action than his amal. So niyyah has a many dimension mentioned in the first volume of Fathul Bari. You may check back, and inshallah if I can find some other time, I will tell you some. So today, from the niyyah as we are talking, all of us together, we need to have possible 4 intention. Number 1, why I am here? Raf'ul jahli an nafsi. That I don't want to be called an ignorant person, that I don't know anything about my deen. No, I want to be a knowledgeable person. And therefore I am here. So number 1 intention is Raf'ul jahli an nafsi. Number 2, manfa'atul khalq. After I learn, I will try to educate other people, my family, my neighbors, my colleagues. Whenever any issue will come in front of discussion and people have no idea, I will say, no, this is what I have learned, this is the reference, this is the reference, so you have to talk with reference. This is number 2, manfa'atul khalq. So possible second intention we all should make it by attending to this halaqah is that manfa'atul khalq, we want to spread benefits. Because our ummah in the middle of jahl. And I can tell you, some of my teacher was saying, and it's true statement, that problem is not too much knowledge, problem is too little knowledge. You think it over, this statement, and you will come back with the conclusion that this is true statement. The problem in ummah is not too much knowledge, is too little knowledge, and is very, very dangerous. So number 2 is manfa'atul khalq. And number 3 is that ihya'ul ilm. That I want to revive this sunnah of ilm, that I will teach and I will learn and I will pass it on to others and others will teach to others and others will teach. So this tradition would continuously go until day of judgment. Today, with all narration and chain of narration I am mentioning in front of you, all this, when those people, they have made an effort and they have made it possible for us to read and access it today, that's why we are here. So we should have an intention, ihya'ul ilm. Okay. And last one, and that is to practice upon. We have to practice. It is mentioned, وَقِيلَ وَقَدْ قِيلَ, one of the pious predecessors has said that al-ilmu bila amalin wabalun wal-amalu bila ilmin dalalun. Al-ilmu bila amalin wabalun wal-amalu bila ilmin dalalun. If a person acquire knowledge and would not practice, it will be burden for him. كَمَثَلِ الْحِمَارِ يَحْمِلُ أَسْفَارًا. Allah has mentioned in the Quran, Jewish scholars, that they had so much knowledge, but they are like of those donkeys who are carrying the goods of people from here to there, and that's all burden they will go on the day of judgment. So ilm without practice is wabal. And ilm, amal without knowledge is gumrahi and dalal, misleading. Don't we see in communities like this, we are living in a part of the world where cream of the nation lives, but sometimes you will feel sorry. I tell you honestly, and if someone would be offended by my statement, forgive me for this matter. I was actually last year there was like when Rabiul Awwal comes, we have Miladun Nabi. Okay? And how people behave. Intelligent people, doctor, educators, professors, and they call themselves high ranking. But they are displaying such ignorance that you will feel sorry for them. Out of a person calling and encouraging people and making everybody emotional about the love of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and suddenly a man stand up in the midst of crowd and he says, Nare Haidari. Everybody says, Ya Ali, Ya Ali.
What does that mean?
Just imagine, like all of the people, and I see the person who is actually delivering lecture, Imam, he's also saying Ya Ali, Ya Ali.
What does that mean?
Now where we can go and what kind of jahala we have, it is an al-aman wal-hafiz. And therefore, please forgive me, when sometime in the masjid, if Miladun Nabi is happening, and you see Imam is sitting here, well, you have to be with them. You can't just, criticize. You stay with them and bring indication to them that this is wrong. Otherwise, everything will remain as it is. So, this is what I'm saying, amal. We don't have amal, and al-ilmu, it says, amal bila ilm dalal. So those of the people, unfortunately, they are feeling that they are doing so noble act, but it is unfortunate that sometimes they are going so far, their words are so much kufr and shirk, al-amal wal-hafiz. And they don't even think it that they are committing shirk. Inna shirka la dhulmun azim is very serious. But it is unfortunately jahala, ignorant. And this is happening in a community where the cream of nation lives. What we expect from other people who are already jahil and who does not know anything, we can't tell them anything. So, these are 4 possible intentions we are here today. We should make it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me first tawfiq to implement what has been said. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give one and all tawfiq to implement what we have learned, inshallah. And we'll try to go back, inshallah, tomorrow. And tomorrow again, our second halaqah will be from the Qisar al-Suwar, and that is tafsir of last 22 chapter of Holy Quran. I would encourage all of you, go back and check the notes, anything we will put it, and try to keep it in front of you. So, inshallah, when we write exam, you will feel it that I have learned something. Jazakum Khair. Encourage others also, and come in a way of a class.